The town of Port Charles was buzzing with tension as May rolled into its final days. Everyone could sense that something big was brewing, something that would change the lives of the residents forever. Little did they know, the catalyst for this seismic shift was already set in motion. At the heart of the storm were Sam McCall and Damian Spinelli, who found themselves in a race against time to save Jason Morgan, the man who was not only a friend but also an irreplaceable part of their lives. The calm before the storm as the week began. Sam was haunted by a nagging feeling that something was terribly wrong. Jason had been off the radar for days, an unusual occurrence, even for him. Her instincts told her that danger was imminent, and she couldn't shake the feeling that he was in serious trouble. Spinelli, her loyal partner in crime-solving, was already working overtime to track Jason's whereabouts, hacking into systems and digging through mountains of data, but so far, his efforts had yielded nothing. Meanwhile, in a secluded, undisclosed location, Jason was being held captive by an enemy he didn't see coming. An enemy who had been lurking in the shadows, watching his every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. That enemy was none other than Cyrus Renault, the notorious drug lord who had made it his mission to take control of Port Charles by any means necessary, a web of deceit. Cyrus had been orchestrating a complex plan to neutralize Jason for weeks. By using a network of informants, double agents, and under-the-table deals, he had managed to lure Jason into a trap. The hit was supposed to be quick, a clean job with no loose ends. But when Jason fought back with the ferocity of a cornered animal, Cyrus's plan went sideways. Now he found himself with a problem, one that required more than just brute force to solve. Back in Port Charles, Sam was growing more desperate by the hour. Spinelli had finally found a lead, an encrypted message buried deep in the dark web that hinted at Jason's capture. The message, however, was nothing more than a cryptic puzzle, and time was running out. Sam's mind raced with possibilities. She knew that if anyone could decode the message, it was Spinelli, but even he was struggling to crack the code. A dangerous alliance as Sam and Spinelli worked around the clock. Another player entered the fray. Sonny Corinthos, Jason's longtime friend and confidant. Sonny had been keeping a low profile since Cyrus's return, but when he got wind of Jason's predicament, he knew he had to act. Despite their rocky history, Sonny and Sam joined forces, each bringing their unique skills to the table. Sam provided the emotional drive, Sonny the strategic mind, and Spinelli the technical expertise. Together, they formed a formidable team, but they were up against a powerful adversary who seemed to always be one step ahead. The trio quickly discovered that Cyrus's network extended far beyond Port Charles. He had allies in high places, people who owed him favors, and a small army of henchmen who were more than willing to do his bidding. They realized that getting Jason out alive would require not just cunning, but also a willingness to cross lines that none of them were comfortable crossing. The rescue mission, as May 31st approached, the tension in Port Charles reached a boiling point. Sam, Spinelli, and Sonny had finally managed to decipher the message. Jason was being held in an old, abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. But the warehouse was more than just a hideout, it was a fortress, heavily guarded and booby-trapped to ensure that no one could get in or out without Cyrus's approval. Undeterred, the trio began planning the rescue mission. They knew they had to move quickly. Any delay could mean the difference between life and death for Jason. Spinelli used his hacking skills to disable the security cameras around the warehouse, while Sonny called in a few favors to create a distraction that would draw Cyrus's men away from the main entrance. On the night of the rescue, Sam's heart pounded in her chest as they approached the warehouse. The air was thick with anticipation and fear. She couldn't shake the image of Jason, battered and bruised, fighting for his life somewhere inside. But she also knew that they were Jason's only hope. If they failed, he wouldn't survive. The battle inside the moment they'd reached the warehouse. All hell broke loose. Gunfire erupted as Cyrus's men realized what was happening. But Sam, Sonny, and Spinelli were ready. They fought their way through the labyrinth of corridors, each step bringing them closer to Jason. The sound of gunfire and the smell of gunpowder filled the air. But Sam's focus never wavered. She had one goal: to get Jason out, no matter what it took. When they finally reached the room where Jason was being held, they found him chained to a chair, beaten but not broken. His eyes met Sam's, and for a brief moment, the world seemed to stand still. She rushed to his side, her hands trembling as she worked to free him from his bonds. Spinelli kept watch, his fingers hovering over the trigger of his gun, ready to protect his friends at any cost. But just as they were about to make their escape, Cyrus appeared, flanked by a dozen of his men. The room crackled with tension as the two sides faced off, each waiting for the other to make the first move. Cyrus's cold, calculating eyes locked onto Sam, and a sinister smile played across his lips. He knew he had the upper hand, until Sonny stepped forward, his voice calm but deadly serious. "Let him go, Cyrus," Sonny said, his hand resting on the gun at his hip. "Or I swear, you won't make it out of here alive." For a moment, it seemed like a standoff was inevitable. But then, in a surprising twist, Spinelli activated a hidden EMP device that knocked out all electronics in the building, including the detonators for the explosives Cyrus had rigged throughout the warehouse. In the ensuing chaos, Sam and Sonny managed to take down Cyrus's men, while Spinelli led Jason to safety. The aftermath: as the dust settled, Jason, battered but alive, thanked Sam, Sonny, and Spinelli for saving his life. The ordeal had taken its toll on all of them, but it had also brought them closer together. They knew that the battle with Cyrus was far from over, but for now, they could breathe a sigh of relief. Back in Port Charles, the residents were unaware of the drama that had just unfolded. Life went on as usual, with the usual gossip, love triangles, and secrets that made up the fabric of the town. But for Sam, Spinelli, and Sonny, the events of those last days in May would be etched in their memories forever. A stark reminder that in Port Charles, danger was always lurking just around the corner, and that true friendship was the only thing that could keep the darkness at bay. Conclusion: as May came to an end, the residents of Port Charles were left to wonder what the future would bring. But one thing was certain: Sam, Spinelli, and Sonny had proven once again that when it came to protecting the people they loved, there was nothing they wouldn't do. The rescue of Jason Morgan was just the beginning, and with Cyrus still out there, the fight for the soul of Port Charles was far from over.